And we're live. How's it going, everybody? How you doing, Don?
I'm well, my friend. How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. I'm ready for the weekend for sure.
You know what Loverboy says, don't you?
Everybody's working for it, right?
Yeah, they are. That's what I'm talking about. It's so hard. It's so difficult. Well, it's
I
nice to
gotta
see you. Welcome
remember.
you in. Yeah, no, the opposite way is so difficult for me. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Damn it. We're just gonna be like hitting each other.
Anybody's joining right now, it's like we're having a patty cake fight.
Give you a wet willy.
But beyond that, it looks like Jeff. How you doing, sir? Thanks for stopping by, good sir. I'm doing
Back into
okay. How
house,
you
my
doing?
man Jeff.
How you
Oh,
doing,
I'm
Don?
going good. I'm doing well. It's Friday. You know what I mean? It's a nice day out though. You can't complain. So as Loverboy said, everybody's working for the weekend.
Brody, how's it going, Brody? Good sir. Thanks for
Nice to
stopping
see
by,
you,
little man.
Brody.
Glad to see you here.
The next
So,
generation of figure collectors in his house.
right, right. And he's got some classics already, man. So that's always a good. That's always pretty cool to see such a youngin have like some classic stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
we got Jeff and Brody here. A couple of old souls. I like it.
that's true. That's true. I didn't
Uh-huh.
even think about it like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man.
Mm-hmm.
There is hope for the future yet.
Wise beyond their years, those two. That's why I like them.
Hmm. Oh man, I just got a gong from my set. Oh yeah, that's right. You did have you just got a drum set not too long ago, right? And
I
I
do
think I saw it
recall.
on his community post, and I think this past week he got the gong, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw the picture of it. I didn't get
Nice.
to comment. I was just going through. I mean, this past week was crazy busy, man. So it's just like the only times I had, it was just like at night, and then first person I see is you. You were killing it with the live streams this past week, man. That's awesome.
Boy, man, I'm overexposed. Not like when I take my pants off at the end of the episodes here. I am too much out there right now. But yeah, I've been. It's a miracle. I'm not. Hey, how's it going? I got the laryngitis. It's a
Hey,
miracle here. I'm jaded from talking about movies for days on end.
you
But
should be talking
no,
like a smoky Italian, Hoy.
yeah. At this point, I got no voice left. Uh, but
Looks like
hard to believe a blowhard like me would still have stuff to say, but I do. By God, I do.
hey Patrick, how you doing? Speaking of Patrick, we're gonna be on his channel here in a bit. I put in the community tab that we're gonna be joining Pat for a watch along of You Should Have Killed Me. The director and one of the stars of the film are gonna also be on that watch along. So after here, guys, we're gonna be over there on Patrick's channel. So definitely stop on by over there and come hang out with us, and maybe we'll see a cool movie you haven't seen yet. It's called You Should Have Killed Me. So yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
doing that around, was it 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. So should be right after this once we're done here.
I'm looking forward to it. Let
Oh
me
yeah,
see
for sure,
here.
for sure.
I was going to pin that or get that to the top of the chat here. Let's see here.
Hey Marty, how you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping by. And another thing, I'll
There we
be on
go.
Marty's channel tomorrow. So
Oh,
definitely
really? What
stop
are you
on
guys
by for
doing
that.
tomorrow?
I think it's gonna be just talking about figures and customization. So yeah, I'll be putting that in the community tab here in a bit. It's gonna be a busy weekend because we're also gonna be on Pugwall's channel on Sunday
Yeah. What
for
time
Ring
is
of
that
Fire.
scheduled for? What time are we
Uh,
supposed to get together with Pugwall?
I think that's gonna be at 2:30 our time, if I'm not mistaken, Central. So that'll be three. Well,
Okay.
I don't. He's UK, so it's kind of like I don't know the time difference. I
Yeah.
think it's for him.
I'm
It's like
gonna
9 o'clock or 10 or something.
I'm gonna have to check. I'll have to verify with Mother. Once again, we might be under the thumb of a lady in our life here. We might. My mom, depending on Mother's Day, I might. I'll have to make sure I can verify that I'll be there. It's that one's out of my control. But barring any news from my mom, I'll be hanging out with y'all.
Yeah, no, we're celebrating ours tomorrow. My mom
Yeah,
and my wife.
that's what I'm under the impression I'm supposed to do tomorrow, but I have to verify. She had talked about me maybe coming over Sunday afternoon, so I'll check. I'll try to finagle it with her. I'll try to grease the wheels with the boss.
There you go, man. You always got to make
That's
the
her
moms
day.
happy. Yep,
Yeah, it's her
definitely.
day, man. I'm not trying to get in trouble with moms on Mother's Day. I'll never be able to live that down. Thanksgiving will be incredibly uncomfortable otherwise.
Hey, Corey, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by, good sir.
Corey, welcome. A regular these days. Nice to see you.
Yeah, yeah. Coffin Crew, how you doing, sir? Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out with us.
It's a
Everybody
dope
saying hi,
avatar, Coffin Crew.
right? He does
Yeah,
a lot of good, some pretty good artwork too. So if y'all haven't checked out Coffin Crew, definitely check out his Instagram and his channel. He's got some good stuff going on. Everybody saying hi to everybody. Oh, there he is. The
nah,
professor
nice.
has graced us with his presence. So this is a full-on
Mexico.
Maxitos in the house production. We got to get Professor on here, man. Whenever he's not working, we got to get him up on here so we can just go crazy.
Just let the professor be the professor. That's all you can do.
We just sit back and then just he'll take care of it.
Yeah, take it over. Yeah. There's one. Uno.
Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Budget ballers, there you go. Oh wow, already covered Bohemian Rhapsody on drums. Oh, nice, nice. I was introducing that song to my stepdaughter last weekend. Yeah, but I showed her the video for from Wayne's World. That scene where they're like all jamming to it. Hi to everybody. Happy Meow Mother's Day. Yep. Yes, sir. Definitely.
Shout out to the mamas.
Mm-hmm. I'm the guy that invites himself over and doesn't take the hint when it's time. No, Corey, man, you're always welcome here, sir. Once we're off live stream, you can still hang out in the chat, but I don't think anybody will be here. But no, you're always welcome here, good sir. Go crazy. Don't mind if I do. There you go. That should be the professor's
Make yourself
motto.
at home.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Roger Taylor's a genius. I just wish the professor would fix the damn radio. Am I missing something?
I'm unaware that Professor's radio was broken. Professor, check your radio and let us know what's going on with it.
So, what did you see this past week, man? I know you saw quite a bit with the live streams and stuff.
Yeah, between the live streams and various other watch-alongs, I've been cranking them out. For the watch-alongs, since we were on last with Star Wars Day, which you haven't checked out the last episode where we put on quite a Star Wars extravaganza. Since then, I've watched Big Trouble in Little China on my channel, Room 237, They Live, Late Night with the Devil, and Maximum Overdrive, as well as a watch-along on Mr. Bones' channel of Machete. So when you factor in that and then me seeing Near Dark and You Should Have Killed Me this week, I've been movied out, my man. So if you want to talk about anything, you go right ahead.
Well, it's funny because I was pretty much there with you. I was watching your watch-alongs when I had free time, and then I saw You Should Have Killed Me as well. So I'm pretty much right there with you. I did start watching what was it? A little bit of Transfers 1.5 Lost in Los Angeles or something. I don't know.
I was gonna mention that actually when I was watching Near Dark. It was the first time I'd ever seen Near Dark. Well, actually, that's not true. I'd always wanted to see Near Dark. People talk about it and how great it is, but it was on my to-do list forever and ever. So it was on Shudder and I never got it. And I finally bought or rented Shudder or whatever, subscribed to Shudder, and they took it off of Shudder and moved it to Tubi. So I could have watched it for free. My whole Shudder endeavor was a waste. But while watching Near Dark, two things jumped out at me. Well, three things. One, the reason I apparently never caught on the first time is because it came out the exact same time as Lost Boys. So it was like competing with the Lost Boys, which was huge in my generation. So I think that's how I eventually missed it. But then when I was watching it this time, I realized I had seen this before. I just saw it so young, and compared to the Lost Boys, it didn't ring to a young preteen or teenager the way the Lost Boys would. Near Dark's a little more thoughtful, grown-ups movie. But Near Dark has Tim Thomerson, whatever. The guy from Trancers was in it. He's the dad in Near Dark. So as soon as he turned up, I was like, oh, we were just talking about this guy last week.
It's like Shudder heard you.
Yeah, they knew what to. Once again, they were spying on me like all these other damn websites.
Yeah, they're like, no, we're gonna like not let him see this on Shudder, and they kicked Tim Thomerson off of Shudder.
Get out, Tim Thomerson.
Well, what'd you think of Near Dark then? I know you said it was more of like in a I guess a more adult film than Lost Boys. I mean,
well, I've already made the thumbnail to do a watch along of it, so I have extended thoughts. I was struck by how similar it was to Lost Boys. I felt that there even was a bit of the whole Peter Pan, one group of people refusing to grow up and somebody who wants to go with them, but then realizes that's not the way. I thought a lot of the whole thing with the young man lured in by the pretty young woman into becoming a vampire. There was a lot of things, the little kid that's in Near Dark reminded me of the little kid that's in Lost Boys. Near Dark needed that big swole Vin Diesel guy to play the sax, though. And I still believe.
On top of the Winnebago.
Yeah, exactly. But no, the two main things from Near Dark that stick out are the performances of Lance Henriksen and Bill Paxton. And then what's her name? Vasquez. I always forget her real name, but she you don't even recognize her in that one. It's if you didn't know that was her, you probably wouldn't recognize her.
But she looks more like she looks more like T2.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, I'm assuming. I always just think of her as Vasquez though, so it's hard because I'm used to her with the short hair and the bandana, and you're so bad.
Vasquez kick ass, man. Anytime, anywhere, man. And with that, Guy's here. He says, hi, everybody. Hit the like button. Yes, thank you, Guy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don, you've seriously been a popular guy as of late. Oh, yes. Don, you have been.
No, Don's a blowhard who talks too much. I've just found a place to channel it. So it's like, here, let's talk about things I like nonstop. So... But yeah, Guy is a loyal and faithful viewer of people hanging out, so I appreciate it. Caveman Guy has also been putting out a bunch of videos himself. He's been doing a lot of hauls lately. He's been showing us some stuff. He's got some really cool things that have come to him lately. So I recommend going to his channel, especially if you're a fan of the physical media and the different presentations and stuff. Lots of cool things to check out on there.
Yeah, definitely check out his channel, guys. He's got a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I think he was kind of not posting videos for a while. He had some stuff going on, but glad to see that you're doing stuff again, Guy. Very, very cool. I haven't seen your latest one, but I saw the other one before that, and yeah, you've got a lot of cool stuff. Let's see. Near Dark is fun. I love Near Dark. See,
yeah, that's what I mean. When I was a younger man, it's got a bunch of cool action in it, but it's not quite as like teen centered as Lost Boys is. Lost Boys is pretty much made for teenagers. It's about being a teenager and everything. As where this is more, it's got a young adult romance, but then it's also got the father and then these father figures to the vampires and stuff. It's a little more talky and thought provoking than Lost Boys is. Lost Boys is more of a fun ride, but this is a good time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So keep an eye out for a Near Dark watch party on my channel sometime soon. The thumbnail's already made.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely. I don't know. I feel like Near Dark is more gritty. It's definitely more of a darker film. I mean, even with Bill Paxton being like semi-dark comedy relief, finger looking good.
It's weird to see Bill Paxton as the heavy. Like generally, he's comic relief. So to see him as kind of the bad guy, like the tough guy of the movie, like, oh, he's here, he's going to cause some trouble. I don't know. It's a fun role for him.
Well, it's kind of like I guess he can channel it because he was Chet in Weird Science, right?
Yeah, but well, even then, yeah, I guess that is pretty kind of close. As I say, Chet's more of a obnoxious douche, as where
Hmm.
the guy in Near Dark is almost like a beat you up kind of bully sort of guy, which doesn't feel like Bill Paxton. At least not the Twisters Bill Paxton I know.
The Twisters,
We
Bill
got
Paxton.
cows. We got cows.
The True Lies, Bill Paxton.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, Last Boys and Near Dark are both amazing, but hot take, I like Near Dark better. It wins out because of Lance and Billis. Yep.
Yeah.
I like Near Dark more. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I liked it more because it was, again, I felt it was a lot more dark, like darker, and it was a little, it felt a little, when I first saw it back when I was younger, I felt it was like scarier than, I was more afraid of those than the vampires and Lost Boys.
I
But
think it's like I say, it feels more like an independent film, like a '90s kind of thing. It's very dialogue driven. It's more like I think it influences a lot of stuff, particular like Interview with a Vampire and things like that, where they delve more into the eternal life of being a vampire, more than they do the, just go bite people on the neck kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Jeanette Goldstein, thank you. I knew Bronson would. I knew Jeff would have my back on this one.
Jeanette Vasquez Goldstein.
Yeah.
Everyone, please hit like and subscribe to everyone in the chat. Yes, definitely, definitely. If you're not already following everybody else in the chat, definitely check out. We got a ton of cool people in the chat, so everybody follow everybody and like everybody's stuff. Everybody's super cool. Awesome reach. Yeah. See, Jeff knows a lot of recent good stuff, man. I mean, Big Trouble, Little China. I mean, classic, classic. And I mean, I know you were saying in your watch party that the Room 237 wasn't going to get a lot of love, but I mean, it's gotten quite a bit of views, man.
That's whenever I predict what's going to do bad or what's going to do good, the stuff that I think is going to do bad always does well. Like I thought King Kong would fail badly because nobody really wants to watch an old 1930s black and white movie. And I was like, oh no, I was wrong. It was one of my better ones. Same with 237. I assume that the people who have seen that and know about it, have thoughts and they're curious to discuss their thoughts with other people, but not a lot of people have seen it. So who the hell can you discuss Room 237 with, It's like you can't strike up a Room 237 conversation with the guy at work. Like, hey, I watched this really cool Kubrick breakdown the other day. Like, all right, leave me alone. I'm
Who?
trying to work. Yeah, exactly.
Did they do one of the Fast and Furious movies?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Sean's here. How's it going,
Oh,
sir?
nice to see you,
Thanks for stopping
Sean.
by, good sir. Sean's always a great addition to hanging out with us, man.
Yeah, he is.
Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Game over,
Game
man.
over, man. Game over.
Yeah, man. I mean, this week, trying to think if there was any movie news or anything this week. I didn't see any new trailers or anything. Oh, I think I saw like a different trailer for The Crow. It looked a little
Oh, they
bit
have an
more.
alternate now?
Yeah, they have an alternate. Oh, one thing that did come out this past week that a couple of people that I saw picked up were the Crow 4K came out. My buddy Monroy,
Oh, okay.
his came. He had pre-ordered it before he got it. I believe Sean got it too this past week, and so did another buddy of mine, Joe. So I'm curious to see how those turned out. I'm hoping they turned out good. I still have the Blu-ray, and I was debating whether I wanted to pick it up or not. And then I have like three other, I have three other steel, or I have three other 4Ks in my queue that I need that I need to pay for. So I need to get that as well. But other than that, I mean, once I get those, I'll definitely share with everybody.
Regarding The Crow, right around the time we did the breakdown of the trailer and kind of talked about our opinions of it and stuff, shortly after they announced, I think that they were bumping The Crow back its release date, as I recall. And at the time, I thought, oh, that's not good news for that movie. Like, that maybe they're trying to do some last minute edits or try to fix things or change stuff around. But it seems to me that really what had happened was Um, uh, the main guy, which Skarsgård is it? They all run together to me.
It Skarsgård.
It's Skarsgård, yeah, Pennywise Skarsgård.
Yeah.
He has an action movie coming out where he's like all buff and kicking everybody's ass.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that they probably wanted to spread those out a little bit. You know what I mean?
What
You
was that
don't
one
want
called?
Skarsgård against Skarsgård. Hmm?
What was that one called? I can't
That's what I
remember
was.
what
That's
that
why
one
I
called.
called it the action movie Kick-Ass one. It had no appeal to me whatsoever. When I saw it, I was like, I've seen too many of those in my life. This one don't look all that great. But I could see how you wouldn't want them at all rubbing up against each other in the theater. You don't want Skarsgård taken away from Skarsgård.
Yeah, but at the same
Um,
time, he's also going to be. He's got three movies coming out this year. He's got Nosferatu coming out too.
oh wow, yeah, that's right. So
Yeah, so it's kind
he's
of like,
working.
yeah, he's the new Jim
And
Carrey, man.
I thought I was overexposed. Tone it down, Skarsgård. Sheesh. Um, regarding movie news, though, I did see that Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is opening this weekend, and it's due to break the. It's doing really well. It's supposed to have a huge opening today already. The numbers appear to be somewhere between 52 and 55 million for today's opening. So
Hmm.
that always amazes me that it's 6:22 Central Time, and they already know what today's numbers are going to be, even though there's like four more showings. They just can project. Generally, they take the first showing of the day or whatever they did Thursday night, and they can project out what it's going to do Friday, and then that Friday number will get repeated Saturday and Sunday. So it'll be, I imagine it'll probably have $100 million opening this weekend. Right
Hmm.
now, it looks like so.
Well, that would
They
probably
say
be
it's
one
going
of
to be
the
the most
first, right?
successful. Pardon?
It would probably be like one of the first, right, of this year, aside from maybe like Dune that made a lot of money. Trying to think what
Yeah,
else has made decent numbers this year.
yeah. Mostly everything else was at the end of last year. Stuff at the theater this year. There haven't really been a big, like, huge.
I
Things
did
come
see
out for
Fall
a day
Guy.
or two. Oh, that's right. You went and saw. What was your opinion on Fall Guy?
I loved it, man. It was great. The humor
Um,
was great. The action was just really really good. I thought it was pretty funny. The music, the music was great too. Like all the musical cues that they use, like the old songs and stuff that they use for all the scenes, it was pretty good. But no, it was good. The gods, man. I mean, he surprises me every time. Ever since ever since Blade Runner, or actually ever since Drive, I was like, wow, man, it's pretty.
yeah.
I've been a fan ever
Well, it's
since then.
been folks have been whatever the critics said that we're kind of rough on the Fall Guy. Well, not so much the critics; it's just they didn't have a huge breakout weekend money wise. Like everybody I heard that saw it enjoyed it. I heard you and anybody else I talked to who had watched it said they enjoyed it and laughed and it was funny and everything. But then
Hmm.
like the box office numbers, like I don't think last weekend it made as much as Planet of the Apes is going to make today.
Oh
So
no, I think
yeah,
it's gonna be one of those things where I think Planet of the Apes is one of those like the first real blockbuster film, you know, to start the summer. I think
yeah,
because really Dune was Dune and Godzilla X Kong. That's another one that I just remembered right now. That one did pretty
yeah,
good money, but
yeah.
but they're not really the summer blockbuster films. I guess they're spring.
Yeah, that's kind of the traditional like post New Year's, the studios have a tendency to dump the stuff they think that's not going to do well because people don't go to the theater that much after the holidays and stuff. Even though there's nothing going on, no, it's cold and people still have reason to go to the theater because there's nothing else going on. They always just think that time of year is dead. And then once it
Hmm.
starts getting warmer, they start releasing more and more. And then once you hit the summer blockbuster, like you say, that window of 2-3 months, that's where the studios pile on. And then we'll get another batch usually around Labor Day weekend. There'll be a big weekend for something because that's a prime moneymaker. And then around Christmas, Thanksgiving time and Christmas time, those long weekends in there, they'll throw something at us. So
Hmm.
I would imagine Nosferatu is probably what, Thanksgiving or Christmas time, I imagine.
It would be nice. It would be nice to have a
Yeah.
good, a solid horror movie. Well, I don't know if it's solid yet. I mean, it looks so far from what I've seen. Willem Dafoe looks pretty cool in the screenshots I've seen, but I guess we'll see. Eric's here. How's it going, good sir? How you doing? Pray for daylight. Sean says, yeah, I got the 4K on Tuesday. Haven't seen it yet, but apparently it's supposed to be nice. Cool, cool. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I was kind of holding off to see because I have the Blu-ray, so I'm just like, hopefully the 4K. You never know with the 4K transfers. Yeah, Eric says Godzilla Kong that made money as well. Anthony Chabot's here. He's saying, "How are we doing, guys? We're doing pretty good. How are you doing, sir? Don, you're doing good, right?"
Oh, well, if Anthony's here, of course I'm doing good, and I would encourage
Nice,
everybody to
nice.
check out the Anthony Chabot saga currently playing on YouTube. It's a little documentary about the life of our friend, so fun to check out.
New Dune.
Damn it, Professor! I fell for it too. I was like, New Dune is oh yeah,
I was
never
about
mind.
to be like, "What? Really?"
Uh-huh. He
Uh,
still can't do it.
no, no. The action docu series on Peacock documents all of the world-breaking stunts that were used in it. Really? I didn't know that. I hadn't heard of that. Had you heard about that one?
No.
Hmm.
I was going to ask you though, as when you saw the Fall Guy, were you familiar with the old TV show? Did you ever see that when you were a kid, or reruns or anything?
I've I know the show. I don't recall. I feel like I never saw it though. I remember $60 Million Man, but I don't think I saw Fall Guy. I know it had Lee Majors. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
I unless I saw it and I'm like crisscrossing, $6 Million Man and that one, but I couldn't say for sure. Like, oh yeah, I remember specifically Fall Guy. Like even
Well,
when
it
this one was coming out, I didn't realize until like I started looking into it that it is actually supposed to be like a retelling, or it's supposed to be
yeah.
sort of connected to that somehow.
Well, it's kind of weird. There was especially in the early, it would take successful movies and then do like a kind of bizarro version of a TV show. And sometimes they wouldn't even have the rights to the property, so they would make something very similar. So like Indiana Jones got popular, and there was a TV show called like Tales of the Brass Monkey or Golden Monkey's Brass Monkey, I think it is, and it's like an Indiana Jones ripoff show. Well, there was a popular Burt Reynolds movie, I think early '80s, late '70s, early '80s, I think, called Hooper, and it was
Hmm.
a stuntman movie. Burt Reynolds plays a stuntman, and it's basically Fall Guy stuff. You know what a wacky, crazy life it is to be a Hollywood stuntman. You know, besides Kurt Russell and Death Proof. Um, so in there, he that got so popular that then they made Fall Guy with Lee Majors, which was basically Hooper the show, except not get sued. So now, yeah, the movie that the Fall Guy is a remake of the Fall Guy, which was a retelling of Hooper. Yeah, you get your bingo cards at home to keep track.
Well, I
Need
mean,
the
I guess
red
it.
strings.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
The
got all the
Charlie
red
Day.
strings tied together.
Well, I mean, I guess it's like what do you call it? I guess it's kind of like I Am Legend. How I Am Legend, like the first movie they did
Oh,
was Last Man on Earth, and then Omega Man, and then I Am Legend.
yeah.
Which I really enjoyed Last Man on Earth. I love that Vincent Price film.
Yeah, the Vincent Price one's my favorite. Actually, they probably went in the order you said them. I think I like the Vincent Price, then the Omega Man, then I Am Legend.
I wish it would have done more practical on the creatures in I Am Legend.
The CGI zombies or whatever you want to call them. That's my least favorite part. The
Hmm.
life after people stuff I love, like watching New
Hmm.
York filled with vines and seeing tigers loose or whatever, lions I think it is loose in the streets and all that. Like that's cool stuff, but um, yeah,
Yeah,
those
I love
zombies
that.
not so much.
Yeah, I was just like, and then of course when what happened to the dog, I was like, oh man, that was a bummer though. That really tugged
Yeah,
at the heartstrings.
that was the plan. You Mark, you fell for it.
Yeah, yeah. You got me again, Hollywood. Action is a docuseries about stunts made in Fall Guy. Okay, so that's what it's about.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out, man. I'll have to check that out. Thanks for letting us know, guy. I'll have to check that out. Brass Monkey, Go Beastie
Go Beastie
Boys.
Boys. Yeah, exactly. See, now,
And
now we've started a whole Beastie Boys thread. There we go.
there you go, man. Hooper's great. Unfortunately, the first two seasons of the Fall Guy was
Never
never, I
released?
guess, produced.
I'm guessing it was never. Yeah. I remember Fall Guy just as a kid because I was way young and I always thought Lee Majors was cool because of the $6 million man. You know, it's like, oh, I like the Bionic Man. Oh, he's a stuntman now. Cool, I'll watch.
It's like I, I don't want to say anything about the movie, man. I definitely suggest you should. I definitely recommend you seeing it. It's pretty good.
The
It's
idea
pretty
that
good.
there are potential spoilers in Fall Guy that you're afraid to reveal intrigues me. Interesting.
Well, it's just. I mean, it's just. There's just a couple things. Like it's a couple little like you'll if you don't if it'll come out of nowhere and you'll like, oh, I was like, wait, did I? Yeah, it's just like a quick, and you'll miss it if you're not really like paying attention. So it's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty
Intrigued.
cool.
I'm
But no,
intrigued.
but the action's good. The humor, it's super funny, man. And then just as you watch the movie going on, and the guy who plays the main actor, what's his name, Quicksilver or Badass, total douchebag, man. He plays great as a total douchebag. It's pretty good, man. I was laughing like all the way through. It was good. There's
Is
never
it
a
what?
dull moment.
Is that Evan Peters or whatever? Is that his name? Is
No,
that,
the other Quicksilver.
oh,
The
damn it. Hollywood. Ooh, I ought to give you a knuckle sandwich, Hollywood.
that's like saying Human Torch. Who? Chris Evans? No, the other Human
Yeah.
Torch.
Michael Jackson? Sorry. Like I said, I've streamed too much. I know not what I say. Forgive me.
We won't get canceled, man. We're 14 episodes in and we're still not canceled, so I don't think that'll be the one.
Nice. We got it. Yeah. Finally
Only
worked
14.
after 14
Yeah.
episodes.
But I stalled because I had to think about it. I was like, wait.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the RC Pro M reverse steering screws me up every time. It's like, oh, Larry's over here. No, he's not.
I remember that hard period when TV shows made into movies like Dukes of Hazzard. Actually, I like Beverly Hillbillies, and I do like Starsky and Hutch. I thought it was pretty funny. Chips, those sucked. Wonder why no Gilligan's Island. Interesting.
Whenever they do that, that's why the Fall Guy didn't really get on my radar at first. When you told me it was worth checking out, it's like, all right, well, if Larry gives it the seal of approval, I'm down. But yeah, they frequently dust off weird properties to try to convert into things like we've talked about this before, because Hollywood, you have to spend so much money to market a film and try to raise awareness. If I say, a movie's called Unfrosted, you're like, well, I don't know what that means. And you're like, it's about Pop-Tarts. Like, oh, I know what Pop-Tarts are. Yeah, so and that's the same with Dukes of Hazzard, Beverly Hillbillies, Starsky and Hutch, Chips, The Brady Bunch, all these movies that they made that you're like, okay. Even when Barbie came out, I was like, that sounds like a terrible property I have to try to make a movie out of. So the fact that it succeeded the way it did kind of blew my mind. Like, how did y'all make a successful Barbie movie?
And it got the Oscar nomination, man. It's nuts.
Maybe Gaz is the keystone. If
guess.
Gaz was Peter Brady, the Brady Bunch would have been a success. Dukes of Hazzard, he can be both Lance and Coy, the other cousins of Bo and Luke Duke.
I did like the Jim Varney Beverly Hillbillies. I did like that. I did like Starsky and Hutch. I think what's his name? Todd Phillips did a great job on that one. Had some pretty good adult humor. I thought it was pretty funny. Chips, I wasn't interested in. I would be interested in a Gilligan's Island if they did it well. Like I think if they would have done it back then, I would have cast John Goodman as the skipper.
Ah, look at you, already casting. I hate to say it, I would dig a Gilligan's Island movie, but you would have to like amp up the danger of being shipwrecked. Like there would have to be almost like a castaway element to it, like we crashed on the shore and how the hell are we gonna, or like Lost or something, except not as bizarre, like how do you build shelter, how do you get food, all that stuff. And then you can see the professor build his machines and all that. But in general,
Macabro?
I don't know.
Professor Macabro? Or...
No, we don't want Macabro to get sued. We don't want Macabro to get sued.
That'd be a nice twist, though. The Macabro
Well,
just shows up, and he's after
I thought
Ginger and Marianne.
I thought you were talking about Macabro making a trailer for Gilligan's Island. I was like, I don't want them suing Macabro. We're going to get all Maxito's production shut down.
No, 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 no. I was saying like, that's the
Yeah,
twist.
yeah.
It
Yeah, no, we
became
got
a
to have
lot
Macabro
darker.
on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
Now that's a bad movie right there, Eric. That's a bad
That's one
movie.
I never watched. Yeah. It just didn't appeal to me. I enjoyed the Baywatch show, but the idea of Rock and what's his name, Zach Efron, was that who
Yeah.
the other one was? Yeah.
Yep. I
Oh,
think we all watched the original Baywatch for that right there.
yeah, yeah, indeed.
Baywatch gets a pass
Uh,
because of Alexandra and her big round eyes.
some lovely peepers. Hmm.
Oh man, who knew Richard Pryor and Michael Jackson were famous for catching themselves on fire?
Yeah,
See,
that's
reading that it reminds me of Scrooge when he's like, I thought you were Richard Pryor.
I just remember the playground joke from being a kid that Michael Jackson got burnt on Pepsi, but Richard Pryor got burnt on Coke.
Oh man,
I'll dust off the classics from sixth grade for you folks. There you go. NASA need another 7 astronauts. All right, go ahead.
Bustin' Loose, man, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, that actually, my uncle, I think that was his favorite movie, was Bustin' Loose. I'd watched that with him 2 or 3 times. So
What do you think was his favorite, or what do you think his best role was?
Pryor,
Yeah, if you say
uh,
Superman 3, by God, I'm ending the stream right now.
yeah. um, Pryor, well, I would say critically, probably JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling was probably like his best dramatic role, is like the story of his life kind of thing. Um, I have a personal affection for The Toy, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. So it's a racist watch, but it's fun. Um, I don't know. I think probably my favorite Richard Pryor movie right now, off the top of my head, is him in Harlem Nights as like the mentor to Eddie Murphy. Like he's not really that funny in it, and he's kind of older, and he's starting to get sick, so he's losing weight and stuff. But it was cool to see 3 generations of Red Fox, Richard
Hmm.
Pryor, Eddie Murphy. Like it was neat to see that, like handing the baton down to the next generation, kind of thing. I don't know. Harlem Nights is a personal favorite, but that's another one that's rated poorly that I love.
I need to watch that one again. It's been a long time, but I remember liking it because of, like you said, those 3 generations. I mean, Red Fox. I mean, Sanford and Son. I used to love that show when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Uh, I like that movie. I like that movie. Was it Moving? Is that what it's called?
I was gonna say he was also in Moving and I want to say like Critical Condition or something like that. He was one where he played a guy pretending to be a doctor in a hospital during he's an escaped convict and he ends up pretending to be a doctor at this hospital and the lights go out, so there's no way to verify who he is and he just starts doctoring people.
I love
So
Stir Crazy also with
Stir Crazy, that's probably the winner. There you go. That's probably his best
him
role, I
with.
would say.
I mean, but that's the thing though. Is like, would you? Because it's him and Gene Wilder. So would you consider it like an ensemble or a duo cast, or would you? Because I think they're both
Yeah.
great in that movie.
Same with Silver Streak. It's kind of the same thing. They
Mhm,
both carry. And what's the other one?
mhm.
Hear No Evil or See No
Yeah,
Evil,
see
something like
no
that.
evil, hear no
See
evil.
No Evil. Yeah, that one. But I think out of those 3, the main one is Stir Crazy. I would recommend that to most people. That's a fun movie. It's a comedy, but it's got a little bit of like prison crime drama thing to it. There's a little bit of
Mm.
suspense, like a escape from prison ticking clock kind of thing going on. There's a lot to it. It's fun.
Riptide was great. 80s action show. I don't think I saw that one.
I remember Riptide. It was, I think, is that the one I'm thinking of with the 2 brothers on the boat? I think they were like detectives, as I recall. I don't
Hmm.
recall. It's been a minute. It's like the Gerald McCraney. Is that the guy? Major Dad with a mustache. I think that's Riptide.
Wow, Major Dad. Man, I haven't seen that show in forever either. Oh, and
Yeah,
I was
there's
gonna
another.
tell you. I was gonna tell you too. Speaking of in Maximum Overdrive, when I was watching your watch along earlier,
You're
um,
watching the watch along. It's many
watching the
layers.
watch along,
Yeah, very very
uh,
layered.
the girl Estevez, his love interest, when you were talking about she
Yeah.
was in Devil's Advocate, she was Coach's mistress.
Oh,
And
okay. Craig T. Nelson.
Hmm. I always
Okay, there
call
you
him
go.
Coach, man. He's always gonna be Coach to me. I don't care.
That's the other guy on Coach, the big, tall, dumb, blonde guy, Dauber.
Mhm.
He's always
Dauber.
Dauber to me. Like when he's in The Stand, he's Dauber. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
Dauber, what are you up to? MOO, that's MOON, that spells into house. Like,
Or Woody. Like Woody Harrelson's always gonna be Woody to me
oh,
from
for sure.
Cheers. You know, it's
But
like it's
that's
Woody.
cheating though, because he's always Woody. He's Woody when he's not even Woody Woody. He's just Woody. He's
Or okay, so another one, Thomas Hayden Church, Lowell. He's always gonna be Lowell
oh
to me.
yeah, yeah, I could see that. I could see that one.
Gilligan's Island meets the Kardashians.
Ooh.
Interesting.
That'd be funny if if they had, like I said, a more gritty Gilligan's Island, but then the wacky guest host pop up, like how the Globetrotters would pop up. Instead, it's the Kardashians, but they get killed off right away. Like they have the old like a scream beginning, like, oh, the Kardashians are here, and then some natives run out of the jungle and murder them all or something. Ooh, never
It's like
mind.
Oscar,
Yeah,
exclusive Oscars.
exactly. Everybody's favorite movie. The most rewatched clip ever is Chloe running on the beach like Saving Private Ryan as she gets mowed down.
I guess they kind of have a movie like that. Did you ever see that movie, The Upside Down Triangle?
No.
It came out around the time that The Menu came out.
Oh, is
I
that what
guess
it's
it.
called? I thought it was just called Triangle. Okay, so it's called the Upside Down Triangle. I've heard of it. Is that Woody Harrelson also?
Hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, and what's interesting is bringing up Gilligan's Island. It's kind of almost like a Gilligan's Island because they're on a boat. It's like a luxurious resort boat. All these people that have like money, and a storm comes and they get shipwrecked.
Hmm.
It's just so out there, man. It's crazy. It's nuts. Really, like it gets pretty weird towards the end, but definitely recommend streaming it. I didn't go watch it in the theater. I saw the trailer and it was kind of ridiculous, but no, it's actually pretty good. I saw it on. I think I saw it on Hulu. I think it was on Hulu. And but yeah, it came out around the same time that The Menu came out, but it was good.
That, they must be connected in some way because anytime I've ever heard anybody talk about the Upside Down Triangle, they connect it to The Menu for some reason. So I don't know if they were competing films or similar plots or what, but yeah, folks seem to handcuff those two together.
Bring back the good old Flintstone commercials where they smoke.
Hey, Barney, there's nothing like the great taste of a Pall Mall. Uh-huh. A Lucky Strike. Roll them up in his sleeve.
Right? Like just Barney has them there, like
Ooh.
survival movie version. Oh yeah, there you go. Where
But wait,
they
keep reading.
unalive each other to survive a la Battle Royale, but ends with three. And me, I can dig it.
See, that's the part I got to. I got through survival movie version of Gilligan Island where they have to unalive each other to survive, like Battle Royale or like what do you call it? The
Surviving the
Mockingjay.
game?
Yeah, surviving the game. Or no, what's the one with
No. Leota? Ray Liotta?
no, the Hunger Games. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the Hunger Games kind of thing. But then, of course, he has to do the addendum of ends with a threesome between Marianne Ginger and him. So,
no love for Mrs. Howell?
Any thoughts in the chat of who you would cast as Marianne and Ginger in an upcoming Gilligan's Island movie directed by the professor?
And Mrs. Howell.
Oh, and Mrs. Howell. Yeah, I want all three. I want to know who's Marianne, who's Ginger, and who's Lovey Howell.
Brewster's Millions. Yep, love that movie.
Yeah. I would probably Brewster's Millions is probably second. I would say Stir Crazy, Brewster's Millions, and then
the above.
Harlem Nights. Yeah. Brewster's Millions is a good call, Eric. I appreciate that. Good call, Scary
That's
Pops.
a good one. Stir Crazy.
Stir Crazy. Yeah.
Just got busted loose from Kino Order. Oh, cool. Stir Crazy or anything with Gene Wilder. Yeah, he was a genius, man. If you watch a lot of his stuff, from like Young Frankenstein to that to, he was great, man. Even the way he played Willy Wonka was
I
incredible.
was gonna
And
say
when you
even Wonka, yeah.
yeah, because a lot of that was like him. Like I only heard recently. I think it was like in the last year that he was the one that decided when he comes out he wants to have the limp. He told the director like I want to come out with a limp and I want to do this and so a lot of that was like him bringing that to the character. So I was like reading hearing that stuff. I was like wow, it's pretty cool, man. Like he brought something to it, and I feel like he did that with a lot of his roles.
Well, his performance in that is just so amazing in general. The way he's obviously a person who likes kids, right? Like, he's a Santa Claus type or whatever. He likes to know that little kids are happy or whatever. So then the fact that he like hates kids throughout the whole movie, and he's like, "Oh no, stop! What do you want me to do?" Like he's just so annoyed with the people in their family, and then when the bad things happen, he's so dry. But then at the end, when Charlie Bucket and he reveals and he's like, "It's all for you," and he goes to being happy and he's so proud of him. There's like a nice character arc there. It's really cool.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I like that too because it's just like I my opinion on it is I always thought like the reason why he's so dry, he's so like help murder.
Yeah.
Like it's
What do
like
you want me?
it's because it's like it's sort of like a lesson you're learning. He told these people not to do certain things, and they still did them. So it's like they have to live with the with the consequences. And I think at that point he's already like, you know, well, I told you. You know what I mean?
I don't mean to get off on a side tangent here, but that piece of shit Grandpa Joe, by stealing fizzy lifting drinks, he almost cost them everything. That turd. Chico and the man, you ass. What the hell's wrong with you?
Oh
Can't
man,
believe that guy.
I've gotten into so many like discussions with my wife about that good for nothing Grandpa Joe. I
Yeah.
mean, he's in. I'm assuming hospice bed rest where he's like not moving, not doing anything, and then all of a sudden they get the golden ticket. And it's like, oh, I can get up, I can dance, and I can do this, and I can do
Yeah.
that. I'm like, dang, that's
Faking
messed up.
ass. It's like when you tell a little kid they don't have to go to school today, and all of a sudden they're like, "Cool, I'm up." Let's. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
I thought you
it's
were
like
asleep 5 minutes ago. What happened?
I don't feel good. It's like, oh, it's a snow day. You can't go anywhere. You can't go to school anyway. It's been canceled. Oh, well, can I watch TV? Can I do this? Can I go
Yeah.
play in the snow?
Look, I can do a
Uh,
cartwheel. Like, yeah,
yeah. Damn you, Grandpa Joe.
yeah. I get so even thinking about him, I just get frustrated. Ooh.
Marianne in a Britney Spears outfit. Which one? Which one, Eric?
The red leather or
Was that the
oops,
toxic
I
one?
did it again. Uh, Stir
Stir
crazy,
Crazy,
nice.
Silver Streak,
Silver
yeah.
Streak,
Bull
yeah, the Bull
Rodeo.
Rodeo, and that's from Stir Crazy. Yeah,
Hmm. I heard on the internet, and if it's on the internet, it must be true. But back when Pryor was with Pam Grier, he would powder her piece
he would powder
before
his
making.
piece.
Oh, powder
So
his piece. Okay, before making the beast of what? Two backs.
yeah, that's one of Professor's expressions for sex. The beast with two backs. We've talked this about before. I think it's a Shakespearean phrase actually, but yeah, they say him and Pam Grier were a couple for a while because they were like the kings of Hollywood or whatever, or
Wow.
king and queen of Hollywood. And yeah, supposedly the rumor is she would off his little Pryor, and yeah, that's the story. The two of them, and I think eventually that's why they had to split, is they were partying way too hard together. So
Wow.
yeah,
I mean, if he could tame the beast that is Pam Grier, whew,
you
interesting,
want to talk about a power couple though? Richard Pryor and Pam Grier. That's the
move
Jay Z and
over,
Beyonce of their day. You know what I
right?
mean?
Move over, Bert and Lonnie,
Yeah, for sure. And Lee Majors and Farrah Fawcett. Yeah, there were a lot of power couples back then, but they're nothing compared to the African king and queen Richard Pryor and Pam Grier.
Mm-hmm. I saw Sure Crazy Way Too Young. Yeah, I did too. Every time when they break out of the vice grips. That one, the scene from Stir Crazy that would always like crack me up is whenever they were trying to like torture Gene Wilder, and then like he was just
Mhm.
like there, and he was just like rocking back and forth, like, and then they'd walk away, and he'd be like, but then like they come by again. He's like, I'm still
Just happy
okay.
and fun. They leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it. You know what else Gene Wilder was good at? Blazing Saddles, where he plays like the gunfighter. He's like, oh, I drink so much, my hands are all shaky. And he's like, oh, it's fine. And he's like, yeah, but this one's my shooting hand.
If you could cameo on a TV show from the 80s, what show would you like to be a part of? There's
That's a
plenty.
toughie. Yeah, I was going to say there's so many that jump to mind immediately. I want to drive Knight Rider. I want to go on an adventure with the A-Team. I'd like to be trained by Lee Van Cleef to be a ninja. There's so many good 80s ones that I would be into. Yeah.
You got Airwolf. You got MacGyver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's another one. Airwolf is a ripoff of, it was greenlit on the success of Blue Thunder, which also had a TV show of its own.
Oh, I never knew that about Blue Thunder having a TV show of its own.
Yeah, I think it was a one season and canceled kind of deal, but they made a Blue Thunder show. Yeah, it's floating around out there. Well, literally floating around out there. Silently floating around out there like an old fart.
Thanking up the airwaves.
And the chat, let us know what ADO's show you would like to be on. That's an interesting question. I could go a lot of ways with that. You know what I mean?
Man,
I'm sure the professor's already coming up with the list of like the women with like he wants to be Jack Tripper on Three's Company or something.
See, there's another one.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, you live with Chrissy and them.
Mm-hmm. Or what's the other one? Who's the boss? Come be Tony Danza.
Angela, Mona, Jonathan.
What's the other one? Family Ties. Growing Pains. All those.
I keep coming up with a lot of those sitcoms, but I wouldn't want to be in one.
No. Especially the Cosby Show.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, and then even like Family Ties, there was an episode where Tom Hanks was the uncle. I don't remember if he was the mom or the dad's brother, but he was the fun uncle who came into town. Everybody loved the fun uncle, but he was an alcoholic and nobody knew it. And at night he would like go into the kitchen and drink the juice out of the maraschino cherries because there's alcohol in it and stuff. He was jonesing so bad. So if I was a guest star on Family Ties, they'd have me be like Uncle Heroin Addict or something. I don't want to do that.
I think a show that I'd like to. So if I was going to say a sitcom, Perfect Strangers. Now, if I wanted to say a show, I would probably go with Knight Rider.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A chance to drive Knight Rider is pretty good. The A-Team, there's lots of fun adventures to go on. It would probably be something fun. I don't think I'd want to get pigeonholed into a sitcom. 80s especially. It's hard to think of the cutoff because a lot of times early 90s bleeds into the 80s in my mind. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Right now I'm leaning towards Being Trained to be a Ninja by Lee Van Cleef on The Master. If you guys haven't checked out The Master, it's a series, but they also have they take 3 episodes and put them together and make movies. So there's a Mystery Science Theater or Riff Tracks versions of The Master floating around. They're pretty fun. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, Lee Van Cleef plays a ninja training Timothy Van Patten, and he's like a young New York punk, like, hey, you're teaching me how to do kicks and stuff.
Yeah, man. If I was gonna do a sitcom, it would be Perfect Strangers. I love that show.
Cousin Balky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like growing up, man, it's weird how I feel like that show didn't really. And I tell people about it, as I was growing up, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what show that is." I'm like, "Really? You don't know that show?" I mean, it spawned. What spawned off from that was Family Matters. How can you not know where it came from?
But that's a bit of a deep cut, though. That the fact that the elevator operator got her own show. So, but I feel you though. It's seminal, as it were. Yeah. Urkel Seaman. So. That's what seminal means. It's it's creation. Never mind. Go ahead. Keep going. I've shook up Larry with Urkel Seaman. Did I do that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yes, you did.
Yes, you did. Don't do that.
Oh man, Gilligan's Island meets Scooby Doo meets Tattoo and Mr. Rourke.
Fantasy Island might be a good one to be on. I would be interested in that. Did you ever see the Fantasy Island horror movie?
No.
Blumhouse put it out like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer, and I was waiting for it to come to something I watched. No, none of the streaming services I had ever had it. I think it's maybe on Hulu. I don't know,
Hmm.
but there was a Fantasy Island horror movie that I believe Blumhouse did. It was
Hmm.
5, 6, somewhere in the last decade.
I'll have to look into that. That's interesting. Uh, what about Love Boat? I mean, Love Boat was what, 80s, right? Or
Yeah,
70s?
yeah, I believe it. I mean, if it might have been in the late 70s, but then it bled over into the 80s for sure. Like I remember there were, it was on in the 80s. Yeah. So,
Oh, but you got to think
yeah.
Miami Vice as well.
Oh yeah, there you go. That'd also be a
Mag-
pretty cool world to live in.
Magnum PI. I mean, got the
Yeah.
stash. You got that car. You're on Hawaii.
I want
Right?
Professor to be Magnum PI. Like I want him to drive the Ferrari and the professor outfit and then be
You
macking
got the
on babes at
stash.
the beach and stuff. Yeah. The mustache on top of the Cabro mask. Exactly. Now your shit's coming out. Yeah. That's what
He'd have the jacket, but I want him to wear those shorts with the
and the
jacket and
Detroit
everything.
baseball cap. He's got the Tigers baseball cap, a fake mustache, and the rest of it's just Macabro, and then he's got shorts on. Hello,
Hmm.
ladies.
With Dumby Huesitos riding shotgun.
In a bikini.
Yep.
Uh-huh. I'm in.
Oh, hey, man. It's like Hollywood waiting on that call. Or
Yeah.
call Macabro. He'll knock out a whole season in like 4 days.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I made a trailer and 2 seasons worth in a week and a half. Here you go.
That would be like House of Wax remake with Paris Hilton. You ever see that one? I think I vaguely remember seeing that one.
Yeah, she's there. That was the point where she was supposed to be like eye candy, and she was like had a lot of publicity because of her show that she did or whatever. I can't remember what it was called. Simple Life. Is that what it was like? Something.
Yeah.
And then she was in that the House of Wax remake, and then she's kind of a little like pinch of a Drew Barrymore and Scream type character. She's only there to not be there anymore.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the best thing of that whole movie is when she gets like waxed.
Now you've been hanging out with me too long. You need to stop. What's the same with what's her name? Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child. She's in Freddy versus
Freddy
Jason, I think.
versus
She gets her
Jason.
nose cut off. Yeah, she gets her nose cut
Got your
off.
nose.
Yeah.
Oh man. Riptide is a couple of detectives who live on a boat, drive a 50s Corvette, and flies a 60s big pink helicopter.
Yeah, I forgot about the helicopter. I remember the boat, but yeah, yeah, it was a couple of were they brothers? I think it was like the dude from Prince of Darkness, the guy who stars in Prince of Darkness. I don't know what his name is, but I believe he's one of the dudes from Riptide.
Oh, the not Tom Atkins guy.
Yeah, he's like a younger guy with a mustache in Prince of
Mm-hmm.
Darkness, I think, but he's I think maybe he doesn't have the mustache on Riptide. I don't know. These a lot floating around in the old duder's head.
But notice how it was like the not Tom Atkins guy, because like every time I watch that, I'm like, man, this should have been Tom Atkins. I guess he was too busy doing something else.
But you and I are Atkins devotees. I even said Tim Thomerson should have been. It was a knockoff Tom Atkins. I was like, hey, he's kind of the poor man's Tom Atkins. If you can't get Atkins, you go out to him.
Right. I guess it's like you go down the line. I was like, oh, you're doing transfers? Okay, well, let's get the other guy that sort of is Tom, the C list Tom Atkins.
I like that you and I are on an Atkins diet. We're just like, anytime we can, just put Atkins in there. That's the answer. It's going to be the professor in Gilligan's Island movie, Tom Atkins.
What about Gilligan?
Yeah.
Of course, Tom Atkins. Who else?
Tom Atkins. Yeah. Put Tom Atkins in a bucket hat. Why
did Depp channel Michael Jackson in that Tim Burton Wonka remake? Though I never even saw that. I was like, oh.
All right, this is weird. I'll try to dance around this topic carefully. I was trying to choose my words carefully before when I was saying that Gene Wilder like you can tell he likes kids, like he's like a Santa Claus type, he's someone who likes to make children happy. And then when Depp does Michael Jackson, I mean, that's kind of a different likes children concept. Like I think they were going for like kind of a rock star recluse weirdo kind of role. But that's the part that always rubs me the wrong way about the Burton remake is the weird Johnny Depp, Michael Jackson role. Like it with all, because that was when the Jackson allegations were really big. After he passed away, folks kind of toned the talk of that down a much. But right around that time is when he was not very favorable with people.
Yeah, I remember watching the trial on TV, or like not really the trial because I think it was like closed doors, but I remember they were showing like people outside and they were waiting for the verdicts if he was guilty and stuff like that. And I was just like, me and a buddy of mine were just like sitting there in the living room, like just like, I hope they fry this bastard.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's one of those. It's like it's you have to separate the art from the artist, but that all that's very uncomfortable.
And it's interesting because some people can and some people can't. Like I know people that are just like they won't any of his music, they won't listen to it anymore after all that. And I was like, not Thriller,
no,
not even Thriller, like Thriller. He made Thriller.
I enjoy the music to this day. Billie Jean will still make me tap my feet. It's like it's jamming. Bad. It's just all of it. It's very good. But yeah, the dude himself, I find him fascinating when I see him interviewed, but it makes me uncomfortable. But
knowing, yeah.
But to be fair though, I don't dig on the Jeepers Creepers movies after the creator of it had issues. Yeah, I can't. I appreciate Jeepers Creepers 1, although I almost never watch it, and 2 is pretty good. I never saw 3, but for those of you who don't know, the director is a bit of a problem. So yeah, I can't really get into those because I know that he's working with young cast members and it's his job to talk to them on those movies. So it just makes me feel uncomfortable to watch. I don't know.
Pam Grier. Sorry, my mind just drifted there.
Thank you for getting us back on track with happy topics. Pam Grier. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Coffee, brown sugar, all of them. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, man, she is a great actress, man. I mean, I loved her in Jackie Brown. I like it's interesting the dynamic. You see all the movies that she had been, from like 70s, the blaxploitation movies that she was in, and then you see her in a role like in Jackie Brown, and it's just kind of like it's a nice, she did a really good job in that one, not just being a sex symbol. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was nice, like evolution of her because when she was younger she did tread on being hot, and that was kind of her thing. She would do these cool action movies where she was hot and the crime was crazy and wild, and they would have these blaxploitation shootouts and stuff. So to see a more mature, grown up Pam Grier playing a role about a woman who's more mature and grown up and beyond that stuff, that's another one. I don't know how young people really dig it. I imagine anybody over 30 probably loves Jackie Brown, and people who are like in their teens are like, it's a little too talky and dumb. I like Reservoir Dogs better,
Yeah, no, I like Jackie Brown. I think it's really good.
Jackie Brown's great.
Yeah, like I never understood like why people don't like it. I mean, again, though, I feel like after coming off of, I think anything coming off of Pulp Fiction at that time, you're like, oh, it's the next Pulp Fiction, and then it was like you said, it was more talky. It was a little bit more of a slow burn. At least in my opinion, I thought it was like a little bit of slow burn, and then it would like, have its moments where it's just. Psh. Michael Keaton was great in it. I mean, Sam Jackson was great in it. I love De Niro when he kills what's her name. That was hilarious.
Bridget Fonda.
Yeah, and then he's like halfway down the parking lot. Like he looks back. See, I told you.
I think we talked about this when we watched Pulp Fiction together. Feel free to check out Night Owl Movie Talk back catalog of live streams. When you and I watched Pulp Fiction, I had mentioned that Tarantino studied the path of directors and usually how their careers go. So he followed the role. His first movie was made very cheaply, Reservoir Dogs, but it showed a ton of promise. And then he got a bunch of money and made a better, more amped up, awesome version of that, which is Pulp Fiction. But then he knows that by the third or fourth film, he's going to get backlash. The critics are going to look for one to dunk on him, and audiences are going to be like, "Oh, I don't like his new one" or whatever. So he intentionally chose Jackie Brown because he almost like, it's like if you're a baseball pitcher and you just throw a ball. It's like, I'm going to waste a pitch here. And that's what he did with Jackie Brown. He kind of figured people were going to hate on it. So he chose something that wasn't his work. He didn't write it. He adapted it from Elmore Leonard. So if people didn't like it, he could kind of blame it on Elmore Leonard. It's like, well, I didn't write it. He just sort of took a pass on that one. Like, he wasn't trying as hard for his third film because he knew he was going to come back with what I think Kill Bill comes next, or I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think Kill Bill was after that. I think.
Yeah, I think that's a fourth film from Quentin Tarantino. I think that's one of the above the title things.
Farrah Fawcett was in the first Fall Guy episode. It happened right around the time of their split. Oh man, I didn't know that. And that's probably why they split, because they didn't have her come back.
That's why she wasn't welcome back. I think Heather Thomas was in the Fall Guy. She was one of the popular '80s blondes. She was in Zapped with Scott Baio. Did you ever see that one?
Oh man, it's been forever.
Yeah, there's like the cutie pie girl in that Scott Baio is chasing after is Heather Thomas.
Now, would you, going back to the '80s question, would you be in Charles in Charge?
No. No. I want that job. It's like, no, here, you can go live in our beautiful house, and all you got to do is occasionally clean up and give life advice to these troubled teenagers. But other than that, we're going to pay you an exorbitant sum, and your loser friend can hang out all day long. You know what I mean? Like, that's a sweet gig. I want that Charles in Charge gig. But no, I don't want to be on the show.
Yeah, Knight Rider definitely.
Corey knows.
Yep.
Corey knows.
Hang out with Crockett and Tubbs. Yeah, there you go. See, that's why Miami Vice, man.
Yeah, that's as far as a stylized world goes, that might be the best of the '80s.
Miami Vice. I'd be one of the recurring bad guys, probably surrounded by hot big boob ladies.
Yeah. Every now and then they cut the professor sitting behind a desk, and there's just like mounds of cocaine, and then just hot booby women behind him.
You have like a Coke mustache.
He's got the same mustache as Magnum PI. And then he takes it off his mustache off for a next role, and they're like, "Oh, I barely recognized him without the mustache. He looks like a totally different person without it."
No, it's like it's all like white from the Coke, so he'd like take off the mustache and just like dust it off and then put it back on. Let's visit Bundy household and try and date Kelly. Actually, watching Married with Children again, forever my favorite sitcom. That's a good one too.
Is that 80s or 90s? That was one of the ones I was having trouble with because in the memory it blurs together.
I think it was late 80s.
Late 80s into the 90s, probably?
Into the 90s. Just like Seinfeld. Seinfeld, I think, started, 89? That was the first season? Was 89? And it was only like six or eight episodes?
Yeah, say Seinfeld was weird because it was a summer, the same way you and I are a fill-in show for Rob's Vintage Video. Seinfeld was a fill-in for a summer block. When the shows would go on hiatus, they would put some show on for the summer until the new one started. So Seinfeld was one of those, and then it got canceled, and I think they brought it back, and then it got canceled again, but the audience demanded that it come back. Like, hey, we're getting sick of you taking this show away. We enjoy it. And then it caught on forever and became like the biggest show of all time.
That kind of happened with, what was that other one with later on with Family Guy?
Oh, yeah, exactly. It got canceled and the fans demanded it come back. Yeah.
Well, it got a bigger audience on Adult Swim, and then that's when Fox was like, "Oh, what were we thinking? This is our next Simpsons, And then they brought it back. And so, yeah,
actually, as I recall, home media was a huge thing. Family Guy was out, and then it got canceled, and they released Family Guy season 1 on DVD, and it was like the top-selling DVD for like 3 weeks. It was better than any of the features. So Fox made a ton of money off the DVD, and that's when they were like, "We got to get this show back in production. Like, we're losing money hand over fist if we cancel this thing." So, but then you look at American Dad and all the other stuff that spins off after that. It's like, it created a whole franchise for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the Orville, even like live action stuff, you know,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
yeah, so I mean, it's weird, man, how all that stuff like works. You know, how home media caused like it happened for even Kevin Smith. I mean, he was after each movie, his home media, the people would buy his DVDs and stuff. That's what basically got other or Miramax, I guess, to give him another chunk of money to do another movie. It's just
Mhm.
weird how all that works. You know what I mean? And then now look where we're at now. Everything is streaming.
I think it was presumed for a long time that there were like certain types of, or that there was only one audience. So it was like we make this and the audience either likes it or they don't. And then they realized it's like no, there's a TV audience and then there's an audience that will go to the theater. They will get in their car and actually go to a theater. And then there's other people who are like I'm just going to wait for it to come out on home video or cable. And that's almost a third audience that exists separate from those other two, like, and it took them a long time to unravel that.
hmm John Ritter had a guest appearance spot on the Minister on the Waltons. Man, you know what? I don't remember too much of the Waltons. I
Yeah, I
saw a
rarely
few
watch.
episodes. John Boy.
Yeah, my mom was always into those like lame drama shows. So as a kid, I remember I would hog up the TV most of the time with Knight Rider and The Master and all that, and that Riptide. And then she'd get control of the TV. I'd be go playing GI Joe guys or something. I'd come in and she'd be watching Family or The Waltons or I can't remember that one with Christy McNichol, whatever the hell that was called. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of there was just all these like just lame-o family dramas that were just I don't know, they were never my thing. Too much problems of the week type stuff.
Yeah, I see. Like my mom would. It was like clockwork. My mom would same thing. My mom was like Dallas Dynasty, Falcon Crest. I don't
Falcon
know.
Crest.
I always got the Falcon Crest and Dynasty. I got them always confused. Falcon Crest was a hotel, right? I
Falcon
don't
Crest,
remember.
I think Falcon Crest was a neighborhood. It was like it was basically a predecessor to Desperate Housewives.
Okay,
The one
so then
I think the one you're
yeah,
thinking of is maybe called Hotel. It's got
was it
James
called Hotel?
Brolin.
Yeah, it's got James
Is that what
Brolin.
it is? James
I
Brolin. I
just don't
think that's
remember it.
Hotel.
I don't remember
Is
the
that
name
what it's
of it,
called?
but I remember Dynasty.
Let's
I
go
remember
Hotel
Falcon
TV.
Crest. James Brolin's IMDb. While you're figuring out the
Let's see. Yeah, Hotel is an American primetime soap opera that aired from September 21st, 83 to May 5th, 88. And there's James Brolin's big face right in the middle of the box set. So yeah,
so,
that's the one I'm thinking of. Hotel. My mom loved
so
that shit. I'm cool.
that's the thing. I
Um,
don't remember it being called Hotel. That's crazy.
yeah, well, I was thinking that Joan Collins was in Hotel. It's like, no, she was in Dynasty for sure. My brain's
hmm
melding the two together.
That's what
Actually, I
I'm saying.
remember my mom, another one was LA Law. And she started watching that when I was around like 13 or 14. And I was finally at an age where I could appreciate her more like grown up drama shows. And LA Law was actually one of the first ones I remember enjoying and watching, like a show
Me too.
geared for 40-year-olds. Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah. I
Benny
mean,
the office boy and stuff. Yeah, I like all
yeah.
that.
You mean Durant from Darkman,
Yeah, Dr. Giggles. Dr.
Doctor
Giggles.
Giggles,
That's my guy.
and Corbin Burnson? Oh
Yeah,
man,
the
that's
the
funny.
the shortstop in Major League.
hmm Oh, the other thing I was gonna mention too, from Lisa Simpson when you were talking about her in Maximum Overdrive. I don't know if you mentioned it later because I didn't get all the way through, but she was also the mistress of Daniel Stern in City Slickers.
Oh, I didn't remember that. I didn't remember
Yeah,
he had a mistress. I didn't remember it was her. Wow.
yeah, it was in the first one when she shows up to Billy Crystal's birthday party. She tells him that she's pregnant or something like that.
I want you to know I'm pregnant, and I want you to know that you're going to be the voice on Wonder Years. Um,
Curtis.
Curtis, Curtis, you get back here, Curtis. Oh, Connie, you have stolen my heart with your shrill voice and your constant nagging.
Lamonia Demonia's here. How you doing? I just walked into Don saying,
What we need to put up a warning sign. Watch out for falling Urkel semen. Not responsible for any splatter.
Oh,
Did
oh
I
man,
do that?
still no call from the dick pills people, guys. So still not
Nope,
sponsored.
hard to believe.
No,
In
with
honor of
all
this week,
this.
instead of taking my pants off, I'll pull them up high. Oh.
Well, thank you for joining us during the
Yeah.
conversation.
Hopefully you brought the plastic like a Gallagher show. Like when yeah, you never can tell when the Urkel semen's gonna go flying.
Oh man, don't forget that Paris also got waxed. What?
Petri dish? I kind of know what he's saying, but I'm not deciphering it. I've already used up my grossness with Urkel semen. You take it, Larry.
I don't know about that. Other than maybe her extracurricular activities that got her famous, maybe that's what he's talking about.
One night in the wax museum.
Hey, Mrs. Caveman.
Miss Caveman, welcome.
Retired 84 to 86. The cases of a private investigation agency run by. Oh, that's the other one. Speaking of that, moonlighting, man. By two Vietnam veterans and their computer geek friend from high school, armed with toughness in their own helicopter.
You know, this is presumptuous of me. I would like to be Remington Steele. Did you ever see Remington Steele? Like the guy who solves murder mysteries or mysteries just by knowing old movies. Like, oh, this is like North by Northwest, or oh, I saw this. This is from Witness with Harrison Ford, or whatever. Like, yeah, I could do that.
What about Hunter? Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, Fred Dreyer, I think his name is. He used to be a football player, and he became like a tough guy cop or whatever. He was basically Dirty Harry ripoff. Was Hunter? It was like, yeah.
Cagney and Lacey. I could be Lacey.
And I'll be Cagney. There you go. A remake of Cagney and Lacey with us. That's what we need. A cat and an owl.
Said it before. I'll say it before. But Jackie is my favorite Tarantino film. It's really a good one.
Well, of course, Jeff loves it. He's an old soul. That would fit him. It's made for 40-year-olds, and Jeff's in his 20s, and he's like, I love it. Oh, there you go, yeah, I could see me as that. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
Minus the hair.
Yeah, me with the blonde William Cat afro, all curly.
Oh man, what are some of your Leonard Elmore projects? Mine has to be Get Shorty. Get Shorty's a good one. That's a really, really good one.
Yeah, Get Shorty's probably my favorite. Probably Get Shorty and then Jackie Brown. Get Shorty's really good. Be Cool, not so much. It's all right. It has moments here and there, but it's a hard watch all the way through. I think there's one called like Kill Shot or something. It's basically like a Desperate Hours type movie where some bad guys take over some people's house and hold them hostage kind of thing.
You mean The Ref?
Yeah, it's basically almost exactly The Ref, except a crime drama version. I think Mickey Rourke might even be in it. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, but yeah, it's a while. But yeah, The Ref is good. I would watch The Ref instead of Kill Shot.
No, see, speaking of that, I think the Rock's best role is in Be Cool.
He's very good. That's what I was going to say. There are pinches of high points in Be Cool, but the overall story itself is
it's not as good. Yeah. It's not as good as Get Shorty. Get Shorty's really good. I really, really enjoyed that movie. Mr. Moons, for me, for obvious reasons. I don't think I've seen that one. Mr. Majestic? Am I saying that right? I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, Mr. Majestic. It's a Charles Bronson. Yeah.
I haven't seen that
so
one.
Of course, Jeff's on that one.
Seinfeld, yeah, 9 seasons. That's my favorite. That's my favorite show is Seinfeld. I still love that show.
I thought of an addendum to the Elmore Leonard discussion. I Googled Elmore Leonard adaptations to see if I was missing anything. He wrote 3:10 to Yuma. I was unaware of that.
Oh, wow.
So both versions. Yeah. He also is probably my favorite. He wrote Out of Sight, George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, okay.
And then Michael Keaton plays, I think, what's his name, Nicolette or something. He plays a detective. And then that same cop is the cop from Jackie Brown. The character he plays in Jackie Brown is also in Out of Sight. So it's like he plays the same guy, but it's one of the only times in where two studios have made movies and they let somebody be in both as the same character. So it's like a kind of a Hollywood rarity.
Hmm.
But Michael Keaton in both of those, Out of Sight is fantastic. I'd recommend that definitely.
So he kind of ripped off Tarantino with the whole, Scagnetti thing.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's kind of what he did.
Because I mean, you got Scagnetti or he's mentioned in Reservoir Dogs, and then he's also, and then you see more Scagnetti in, or no, not Seymour, in Natural Born Killers. You get Scagnetti also, because Seymour was in Reservoir Dogs. What was the other Scagnetti? And I just remember the last name was Scagnetti in
he's Scagnetti's the parole officer in Reservoir Dogs. He's like, the beauty of your job is if he shows up, you can just say we sent you down to another pier that day or whatever. But then, Scagnetti's in Natural Born Killers, both written by Tarantino. I think they quit using that character after Tarantino was so pissed about Natural Born Killers not being the way he wanted.
I don't know, man. I still think it's a great movie.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoy Natural Born Killers just because it's one of Oliver Stone's drug fueled rides. The same way. That's what makes. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, that's what makes Natural Born Killers and Any Given Sunday, even JFK to a certain extent, the way Oliver Stone cuts things together, and it's almost like train of thought more than it is real. It's like surrealistic or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Married with Children was first aired in '87, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Facts of Life. I don't know if I'd want to be on Facts of Life.
Could you imagine me as the new Mrs. Garrett?
Who remembers Who Shot JR and the whole season was a dream? Yeah, I remember that. I think you and I talked to you about this. Didn't Anthony Perkins, wasn't he like a spirit or something? I vaguely remember. I think it was on Dallas where he was in that on an episode, and he was telling JR to like kill himself or something. Maybe I'm having a fever dream from back then. I don't know.
That's awesome though. Can we go back in time and write that episode if it's not real? Because now I want to see it really bad.
Right. I just thought of another one, not from the '80s, but I would switch places with JR and I dream of Jeannie and get me a
piece of that hot Genie action. Yeah, I like I Dream of Jeannie. That'd be a fun one to make a movie of.
I mean, because they did do Bewitched, and we saw how that turned out.
Yeah, that's another one of those where, like, when I saw The Fall Guy was coming out, my mind like regurgitates all the times they tried to do an old TV show and it failed badly. So that's why it's like when it actually works, it's hard to believe. Like, how'd you guys make that successful?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think Fall Guy didn't do like the numbers they were hoping, but it was number one last weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it made the numbers that they were like hoping for, from my understanding. Corbin Burnson was really, really great in the comedy called Psych. I don't think I saw that one.
Seen a TV show, but not the movie.
Yeah, I've heard of the show on USA. I don't think I saw a film. I don't think I saw that film.
Corbin Burnson isn't he in Tales from the Hood? I think is he. There's some horror movie that's anthology stories, and Corbin Burnson plays like a dude who owns a plantation or something, and maybe
it's Tales from the Hood.
Attacking. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
a lot floating around the old duder's head.
Or like me and a buddy used to say, Little Penny. He gets killed by Little Penny.
It is exactly Little Penny. Yeah.
Exactly. That's
filming. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember when it premiered on HBO, and me and my buddy were watching it, and we were just like, "Is that Little Penny?" So ever since then, we always like, whenever we talk about Tales from the Hood, it's like whenever we bring it up, it's like, "Oh, that movie with Little Penny," like, and people are like, "Which one?"
Who now?
The shit. We say that all the time too. It's like the shit.
I love yeah, what's his name? Clarence, whatever.
Yeah,
Michael.
Clarence Withers third, right?
Yeah, I was trying to
Gotcha.
remember his full name and I drew a blank on it. Yeah.
My cousin was a director. She directed several episodes of Cagney. Oh wow, Falcon Crest and Matt Houston.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't think I've heard Matt Houston, but Cagney and Lacey, Remington Steele, and Falcon Crest. Yeah, that's cool.
I
Wow, that's
remember
awesome.
it, but very vaguely. Yeah, like Cagney, Lacey, Remington Steele, and Falcon Crest for sure were all huge. Matt Houston, I kind of vaguely remember, but not I didn't watch it as much.
Dream On is another great referencing previous movie TV. I remember the show from HBO, right? Dream On. Do you remember that
Yeah.
one?
It, yeah, it's that's one of those that's weird. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and somehow I haven't watched it ever again. It was kind of the predecessor to Sex in the City. It was about
Hmm.
this guy who got divorced and then he was dating again. So it would like follow him around in his dating life, and then he would like hang out with his best friend and talk and BS, and that was like the fun part of the show. But he would think like the like guy says he would think in old TV shows and movies, which I'm assuming so many of us do too. So like his boss would say something to him, and then they would cut to a black and white clip of an old TV show, and the person would be like, "Because you're a wicked, stupid idiot. That's why." And then it's like, yeah, he would think about like, his life in reference to old TV shows and movies and think in quotes and clips and stuff. So yeah, that movie, that show means a lot to me because it was, I empathize with the character a great deal.
And then he's the sidekick. He ends up becoming the sidekick to Dolph Lundgren in Dark Angel.
Dark Angel, yeah. What's it called in America?
I Come in Peace.
I Come in Peace. Thank you. That the damn you and the Brits, you guys have got me saying Dark Angel, but yeah, I used to always know it as I Come in Peace. That's what
Well,
I
see,
always
I
saw
always
that.
knew it as I Come in Peace, but ever since I heard it as Dark Angel, I'm like, man, that's a way cooler title. So now
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta go with my brick compadres, man, and go and
Well, Dark Angel,
solidarity.
I think wasn't that also a show with Jessica Alba or something? Like, wasn't there a TV
Yes,
show called Dark Angel? Yeah, so
yeah,
that's why
on
I always confuse.
Fox.
Yeah, Dark Angel always gets muddled up in my head. It's like I think that's already a different thing. But I Come in Peace. I kind of like I Come in Peace because it's in how in Mars Attacks, like when the
Hmm.
aliens land and they're all like, "We come in peace," and everybody's like, "Oh, hey, they come in peace." And they're like, "Aha!" And they start shooting them.
Yeah,
Like that's what I Come in Peace reminds me of. Like this big monster shows up and everybody's like, "Oh, he comes in peace." Then he's just wrecking shop and destroying
yeah.
everybody. Like
I
he
think
takes
it
advantage
was
of our
always,
dumbness.
and it was always funny. Like the part was like, "Don't run, we're your friends," and they're like mowing people down.
Ack, ack,
You
ack,
know,
ack, 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 ack,
like, "Don't
laughing as they're
run, we're
shooting
your
them.
friends. Don't run,
Yeah,
we're your friends." Like that was a good one, man. Justified's a good one. Deadwood, I saw a few episodes. I never got into it too much. I think it's because I didn't really have HBO at the time. But Justified, that was a really cool show. I don't know if you ever saw that one. That was Timothy Olyphant. That was on
yeah.
FX.
I'm the flip flop. I've only seen like one episode of Justified, but I think I've seen all of Deadwood. I didn't see the movie they made like a year or two ago, or a few years ago. But other than that, I've seen all the Deadwoods. They're great.
Justified
I
also
didn't.
had Walter Groggins in it.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
That's another. That's a great. He's a again, man. I think we've talked about this before. He's a great character actor. I mean, he does a lot of good stuff. He always brings something to the table, man. Whatever he does. Brunson as a melon farmer in Vietnam veteran taking on monsters played by Alice. Godfather. Original movie script by those concept. It's great. Definitely recommend it. I'll have to check it out. I hadn't heard of it, so I'll definitely look
Mr.
into it.
Majestic. Yeah.
Mr. Majestic.
In True Romance, when Clarence goes to see Drexel,
Hmm.
and they're having the white boy day scene, the famous
Hmm.
one. He's like, "Oh, this boy must have thought he was Charlie Bronson or something. What about you, Mr. Majestic?" Like, yeah, that's one of the reasons I remember Mr. Majestic. Oh, you ain't Charlie
Gotcha.
Bronson. Yeah.
Uh, oh, Michael, how you doing? This is the first
Welcome,
time.
Michael.
I don't think we've seen Michael before. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
In the
It's
movie
always
Planet
nice
of
to
the
see new
Apes.
fresh faces.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And the movie Planet of the Apes, 68, The Sea Up, or The Freedom Statue Broke. Um, I think it broke. I think it got destroyed.
Yeah. Well, the geography of it is all screwed up, yeah, because it's on the edge of an ocean shore and it should be on an
Mhm.
island. So yeah, that's why I see what he's saying. Like, did the sea rise up or did it break off? Yeah, I guess I think I always just at the top of it broke and washed up on the shore somewhere. I'd like to see that in a
Yeah,
prequel movie. The broken off Statue of Liberty floating in the ocean. That'd be a good visual.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And thanks for stopping by, Michael. I mean, that's the first time
Yeah.
we see you.
It's always nice to have
Uh,
new folks in the conversation.
Definitely. German, he ended up being a major horn dog. Only the first two seasons were ever released on DVD. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was that's
Yeah,
why
he
I
was.
compared Yeah, I compared it to Sex in the City because there is a lot of sex in there. Like it's him, being a newly single guy. And women out there living a fun, adventurous sex life is kind of interesting and ground exploring. But when you have dudes do it, it's often seen as misogyny. So I
Mhm.
think that show kind of got pushed. That one and a show called First and 10 used to be on HBO. It was like a football show, but it
I
was
remember
a
that one.
yeah, but the interesting thing about it is it was a sitcom that ran, I don't know consecutively, whatever. Like each episode kind of connected to each other. So like you would go over a season each week or whatever. So it was a very strange setup for a sitcom. It was like a predecessor to Netflix or the modern series we have. But then
Mhm.
OJ'd, and after that, you can't find First and 10 anywhere. I have the first, actually, I have the whole series run on DVD. My cousin gave it to me as a gift one year at Christmas. But
After,
last time, yeah, no, like 2 or 3 years ago, because he found it and he
oh,
knew I loved
wow.
it. Yeah, he knew I loved it and it was rare to find. And then he was like, "Look what I found at a thrift shop or whatever." I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" Last time I saw First and 10, it was on IMDb. Like IMDb shows. Not a lot of people know that. You can dig through their catalog and
Mhm.
find old movies and shows, and it was playing there last time I saw it.
Wow.
But yeah, some of those 80s HBO stuff, they just banished it. It's not on Max. They act like it never existed. It's weird.
Wow.
First and
Huh.
10, Dream On. Yeah, a lot of that stuff's just gone.
Wow, it's crazy, man. That's
Hmm.
true because I don't think I've seen Larry Sanders show on there either.
Yeah, I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if that was on Tubi or somewhere, or
Hmm.
IMDb or Plex or one of those.
Interesting. Well, it's weird too because I mean, even Kids in the Hall, it was first on HBO and then it got syndicated to CBS or something like
CBS,
that.
I think. Yeah, I think it was CBS. But Kids in the Hall also had a long run on Comedy Channel in the middle of the night, Comedy Central, whatever. Yeah, it
Hmm.
would be on often.
Oh yeah, man. They would show two episodes at noon and then they would shoot two episodes like at 6. And
Hmm.
yeah, man, I love that show. I mean, aside from Seinfeld, that's like my second, and then of course, obviously, MST3K. I mean,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
that 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 molded those molded my mind as middle school going into high school, man. So yeah, definitely. Walter Goggins, yeah, in Sons of Anarchy, I was really really shocked when he showed up in Sons of Anarchy. Did you ever see that?
I think I only saw the first 2 seasons. I don't know if I remember Goggins being in there or not.
He's in the later seasons, and
Okay.
yeah, he plays a woman.
Really? Good for him.
It's
Huh.
good, man. It's good. Like, oh man, Sons of Anarchy is like a great show. Like 30 minutes into that first episode, I was hooked. But yeah, like that. If I would suggest going back to it, season 3 is my favorite season. I mean, I absolutely love that season. We got Liv, Stop Rewind. How's it going, Liv? How you doing?
Welcome, Liv.
Thanks for stopping by.
Liv Liv's a frequent guest on my late night chats. She's often going to bed as I'm coming on.
Roy, how's it doing, brother? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by,
Wow,
man.
welcome. Friend of the channel.
Hey, Frank, how's it going? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Uh, Frank is actually Monroy's brother.
Oh, wow. It's a family affair. Nice. So 2
Yeah,
Monroys, no
thanks.
waiting. Uh,
Everybody
did
say
you guys
hi to
ride
everybody.
together? Frank and Juan showed up at the same time. Yes.
Um, well, it's already been an hour and a half, and pretty soon we're gonna have to jump over to Pat's channel to check out the watch along. So I think we'll just stop. This is a good stopping point, I think, for everybody to kind of get settled in, and then go join us over there. Don, you got anything coming up you want to pitch?
Well, first of all, I just put the link in there to follow to Patrick's stream. I put that in the chat. So we're gonna be heading over there to watch You Should Have Killed Me. On Sunday, depending on not whether or not my mother interferes, we will. I'll be with Matt and you watching some Richard Munchkin, Dick Munchie. We'll be watching some of his classic stuff. Also, like I say, I got a few watch parties planned, a few things, a few aces up my sleeve. I took last night off because I knew today was going to be a marathon of talking with you folks. So I gave everybody's gave everybody's ears a rest for a night. So,
You put away the Don monster.
Yeah, exactly. After a while, I take pity on the audience. It's like I feel like if I hear this guy explain one more time what something means to him, I'm gonna blow my brains out. So, but no, yeah, but just the usuals. I'll be sticking on the same watch party train I've been on. Next week, In the House will be on my channel. So if you're new to our show, be sure to subscribe to both of us and complete the whole set. Also, the big one is just coming up in a half hour. A watch along with you and the director and stars of You Should Have Killed Me. We're going to do a watch along. The film is available on Tubi, so you can go on to Tubi and find You Should Have Killed Me. There's the link to Patrick's stream. So you can click on that and just seamlessly go straight to where we're headed next. We're moving the party to Patrick's channel. Yeah, what about you, my friend? What do you got shaking? Besides next Friday, and to let everybody know what you got going on then.
This coming week, I'm gonna try to get out a couple videos. One's gonna be what I'm taking to Texas Frightmare, because next weekend is Texas Frightmare in Dallas, so I'll be traveling. So you may have a live correspondence of me at Texas Frightmare for In the House. So I'll probably be dropping that. I'll be dropping that hopefully for Wednesday.
I was wrong. I'm off by one. My accounting's off.
So there's that, and then I need to see what figure I'm going to do for next Friday. Beyond that, yeah, we got the watch along coming up at here in about another 20 minutes, and then tomorrow I'm going to be on Marty's channel. We're going to be doing some figure customization talk and stuff like that, and then Sunday we'll be doing the watch along with Matt on his channel. So I'll be putting all that in the community tab and stuff like that. Just the last few comments before we head out, guys. Mine's was a great spinoff. I need to watch that. I need to go back and watch that one. I need to see, now that it's over, I want to binge watch that. Frank said live in San Diego. Awesome, guys. Thanks for thanks for stopping by, Frank.
Take me with you.
Yeah. Awesome weekly recap, guys. Hope the panel and all the people in the chat have an awesome weekend. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you, Professor. We encourage all of you to go to his channel and review the collection of Professor's work altogether. Just his reviews and his little recaps of his life and various opinions on things are great. But everybody here has become a huge fan of his wacky trailers, and I don't know. I would say that they're almost mock trailers, but I feel like they're due to get made into real movies at any time. So I'm just thinking they're almost like, so I recommend in particular Alf Garfield versus Alien, whatever.
Definitely check that one out. That was really good. The Blind Furry one's hilarious. I mean, all of them, man. European Workout,
Blind Furry, Texas. Yeah. Blind Furry has some great voiceover work in it. So you and I are both featured as the Blind Furry cameos.
That's pretty good, man. That's really good. P Rich is here. How's it going? Hatchet Boys.
P Rich.
Thanks for stopping by, man. P Rich saying hi to everybody.
I've been in 2 or 3 P Rich live streams this week. I like to drop by and pop in. He's been watching all sorts. He always watches good stuff. So if you enjoy doing watch-alongs, for sure, check out Hatchet Boys channel.
Again, Jeff, always cool to have you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Miss Caveman, always thanks for gracing us with your presence. Looks like we have one more question.
Tolerating my nonsense.
We have one more question, I guess, before we go. Why King Willie before die by Yahucha recited Psalms. I don't know why. Maybe because trying to think. That's an interesting question.
He's maybe trying to find Jesus before he dies. I don't know.
Maybe. I'll think on that one, Michael, and maybe next week we'll have a better answer for you. Yeah, it's interesting. Bruce Willis.
Yeah, always Bruce Willis. Always Bruce Willis.
And with that, guys,
you too, P-Rich.
P-Rich, have a good weekend, my brother. Everybody else, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us every Friday. And again, you all are the official third member of this. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us every week. Y'all have a good one.
Grateful.
Any last words, Don, my man?
As always, thank you so much for coming. You guys rule. I wish you all the best and green grass and high tides forever. Adios, amigos.
Have a happy spring season, folks.